16 people, including 3 children, have been killed after a gas cylinder containing nitrate oxide leaked at the Angelo Informal settlement in Boksburg. This highly toxic gas was reportedly used for illegal mining activities. It was initially reported that 24 people died from the leak, but police have since revised the death toll to 16. The victims include 5 women, 8 men and 3 children. 16 others have also been admitted to the Tambo Memorial Hospital, with 4 people in a critical condition. The gas leak comes 6 months after the Christmas Eve gas tanker explosion, also in Boksburg. A fuel tanker exploded after it became trapped under a bridge just a few meters from the Tambo Memorial Hospital, and 41 people were killed in that incident. Let's take you live to Boksburg this morning. That's where we find my co-anchor, Ayanda Nyathi. And I imagine, Ayanda, this will be a horrific sense of deja vu for the medical staff at the Tambo Memorial Hospital as well.
Without a doubt, a situation that sadly they've seen before. It's now the break of dawn, Michelle, and we're finally getting a chance to really gauge what this place looks like. You know, some of the gas itself may have somewhat dissipated, but the devastation lingers. The mood here is incredibly somber. Many people, of course, even those waking up to the news, trying to piece together what exactly happened. Geographically speaking, I'd suppose we're at the entrance, really, of this particular area, which is divided into various subsections. The residents who've been able to speak to us off camera tell us that the devastation, or at least the heart of this particular leak, was at a place called the Limpopo section, for lack of a better term. I'm going to step out a shot quickly. We spoke earlier on, and I mentioned to you how, despite what's happened here, people are really trying to go about their lives. The early morning rush is somewhat behind us, and there's a lot of people who are just trying to get to work. But the pathology services and authorities who are still here obviously give a sense, even to those who weren't necessarily aware of what's taking place, that something has gone horribly wrong. In fact, those of us who've been able to speak to us, part of the authorities, tell us that that big forensic truck that's currently in your shot is only brought out in instances where there is mass devastation. Part of the logistical planning that takes place is you bring out this particular truck if you don't want to make multiple trips, because of just how many bodies you might be dealing with. And even before going on air, several of smaller trucks have come here to, I imagine, deliver the bodies of those who've died in this particular tragedy from much deeper in the township itself. So far, as you mentioned, the death toll is at 16. It does involve women and children. The leak itself, we understand, took place late yesterday into the night, which means many of these people were actually asleep, and that's why, trying to get away from the heart of this particular leak was quite difficult. But let's also bring in the mayor of Ekurhuleni, who was here yesterday and has also made a return today to obviously get a sense of how things are looking like. Mr. Mayor, if you can join us this side, Sivuyile Ngodwana, who's with us here on the scene at this particular informal settlement. Thanks for your time, Mr. Mayor. You were here yesterday and you've explained to us just how sobering, even just what you found there was. Bodies on the floor as you arrived.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. Yes, we are here at Angelo Informal Settlement in Boksburg. Yesterday we received the call that there was the gas leak here, where in a shack where the Zamazamas were operating, doing the illegal mining there. So we quickly came here to the scene. They took us inside. The scene is down there inside the center of this informal settlement, where we found 16 bodies dead, and it is a shocking tragedy. It's bad, and as the city, we would like to say condolences to all the family that have suffered the loss for their families, and we are here at the city of Ekurhuleni to support the community of Angelo Informal Settlement, and also those that have suffered the loss. We will make sure that we give them all the necessary support as the city that they need.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt you there, Mayor. And, I hope that that support goes a long way, even though some families, I imagine, might feel it's a little too late. Residents who are here tell us that the kind of illegal mining, which we understand underpins what happens here, has been taking place for quite some time. What do you know to have led to this particular tragedy?
Yes, because you can see when you are going to that shack that those people are operating there. There's a lot of machineries there that they've built there. And we are pleading with our communities to say they must report this kind of illegal operation that are happening in their communities, because now they put their lives in danger. And we cannot tolerate this kind of a situation where you've seen today we've lost innocent people because of this illegal mining. So they must report it to the police so that the law can take its course. Yeah. Yes.
What happens next, Mr. Mayor? Because just because of how gas actually works, we don't know how much of it is still around in the atmosphere, how many bodies might still be around. What are authorities, some people in your team, telling you about what they're finding inside and the possibility perhaps of even this number of 16 rising?
Yes. When we're there at night to the scene, where they confirmed 16, but because most of the people were still were sleeping, so we don't know what could have happened after. But we'll wait for them, because they were busy working the whole night. We'll meet with them to find out if maybe the number is still 16, or then we'll take it from there, because they were busy working at the scene.
Sivuyile Ngodwana is the mayor of the city of Ekurhuleni. Thank you so much indeed for your time, letting us in on what you know so far and possibly what the way forward may look like. I mean, it's still very much an active scene here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
It's still very much an active scene here, and again, incredibly fluid, as it were. Now, nitrate oxide, which is the particular gas that we're told was actually leaked, is a byproduct of combustion. It's part of actually what your car emits as you continue driving, and can actually cause an incredible amount of damage if large amounts of it is inhaled. In fact, it leads to the flooding of the lungs, and it's that respiratory challenge, I imagine. The mayor claimed the lives of 16 people, and that number, we're told, possibly way higher the morning after.
Ayanda, before we let you go, if you can still hear me, what is the advice to residents the morning after? You're not wearing a mask this morning, which worries me greatly, and neither are the residents in the background there. What are pathology services and the experts that are on the scene, what have they advised residents to do now in the hours after?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously trying to ensure that they stay clear of the site itself. So it's important context that you're asking here, Michelle. I mean, geographically speaking, the distance from where we are to where it actually took place is quite significant. In fact, you need to drive there. You mentioned Ngobile Madlala at the top of 7 o'clock. She's part of the team that's gone much closer to where it happened, and of course is much more careful from that vantage point. But from where we're standing at the moment, it is habitable, for lack of a better term. You certainly can still go about your business, and in fact it feels like much more of the busier part of the particular township. Just a few minutes ago, there were a number of taxis here who were transporting some commuters during the rush hour period. So luckily we're at a safe distance, dare I say, but that feeling of unease, the discomfort from many people who've heard of what happened even from here certainly lingers, and you get a sense that people are very skeptical to even go even further down this particular passage, where we're seeing once again, as I speak to you, another one of those pathology services trucks carrying bodies coming from much deeper in the township itself. And if you're able to catch sight of the people who are driving it, you can see that they are fully dressed in those masks to try and ensure that they keep themselves safe. In fact, it's their entire body covered in some kind of shielding, PPE, as it were, to ensure, of course, that they too are not affected by the after effects of this invisible enemy, quite frankly, this gas, which has a pungent smell, but you simply can't see.
Yeah, important context that Ayanda Nyathi is live to us there as part of our team covering this developing story in Boksburg. Our reporter, Ngobile Madlala, is also getting us a sense of what's happening in that community the morning after 16 people were killed, including 3 children, after this gas cylinder containing nitrate oxide leaked there. Ayanda, we'll speak to you again throughout the morning. In the meantime, thanks very much indeed.